Hey guys, it's Jess from Ed & Crafts, and today I'm going to talk to you about this new paint from FolkArt called Treasure Gold Paint. I'm going to start by showing you how the new Treasure Gold Paint stacks up to some of the other gold paints that FolkArt has in their other lines. In the top left corner, I have FolkArt Metallic Paint in pure gold, then Martha Stewart Craft Paint Metallic in yellow gold, the brushed metal FolkArt paint in brush gold, and then the bottom right corner is the Treasure Gold paint in the gold shade. And you can see right here in my paint tray the way the different paints shimmer and shine already before they've even been applied to the project. I'm first going to show you how these paints apply to a ceramic tile. Now all four of these paints are multi-surface paints, which means they're good for use on ceramic, glass, paper, wood, some fabric, but as you'll see in just a second, they're not all like you can't apply them to fabric and then wash the fabric. But I'm going to show you how these paints look on a couple of different surfaces so you can see how the finishes look on different surfaces. So first off, this is the metallic craft paint from FolkArt in pure gold. FolkArt does have metallic paints that are outdoor safe, but I didn't have any of that on hand. So this is the paint that is just for indoor use only. Next is the Martha Stewart Crafts acrylic paint in yellow gold. This has been one of my go-to paints for 6 or 7 years now. I really like the consistency of these paints, and they are multi-surface. They're UV and weather resistant. If you put them on glass and then cure them according to the package directions, they're actually top shelf dishwasher safe. And then of course they're non-toxic and water-based. All four of these paints are non-toxic and water-based, and I'll tell you why that's important in a little bit. Next up is the brushed metal paint. This is also from FolkArt, and this is a line I think they introduced last year at Creativation. So this is a fairly new paint. And this is a line of metallic paints that give you a brushed metal finish, so it won't have the same shine as a traditional metallic paint, but if you're going for a brushed metal look, it's a really cool look. And again, this is a multi-surface paint. It is outdoor safe. It takes about 2 days to cure, and then it is water and fade resistant. And again, it's non-toxic and water-based. Finally, we have the new Treasure Gold paint in gold. And the reason why this new paint is such a big deal, as you'll see in this video, is it gives you the very realistic metallic look with a craft paint without the nasty odor, without a toxic paint with all kinds of warnings on it, and it's water-based, so it's easy to clean up. If you have ever used like a liquid gilding or a gold metallic marker, you know that if you want that really gorgeous, realistic metal finish, you have to deal with some pretty bad stink, because up to this point, any metal looking paint was toxic and it had a terrible odor. Plaid has changed this with this new FolkArt Treasure Gold line of paints. You get that realistic metal finish in a water-based formula, and it's non-toxic. Now this is a multi-surface formula, but it is not outdoor safe. Alright, so that's what it looks like, still wet, with just one coat of each of those kinds of paint. This is what that same tile looks like after the first coat has dried, and you can see the different shines that each of those four kinds of gold paint have after one coat. But I'm going to go ahead and put a second coat on all of them and close you in a little bit so you can see exactly what the paint looks like as it goes onto the tile. Whenever you are working with any metallic craft paint, You want to make sure that you are using the softest brushes that you have in your stash and that you're using a really soft, gentle hand when you're applying the paint. Metallic paint is going to emphasize any brush strokes that are left in the surface of the paint. So if you want that really smooth metallic finish, you have to use a really gentle hand. Alright, so this is what those 4 paints look like after 2 coats have dried. And you can see that the Treasure Gold paint, at least in my opinion, has the most realistic metal finish. It has the right kind of shine, and it has that sort of darkening effect when it's turned away from the light that the other paints don't quite have. All 4 of these paints are great, and I would recommend any of them, but if you're looking for a really realistic looking metallic finish, I am really pleased with this new Treasure Gold paint from FolkArt, because you get that gorgeous look without the terrible stink that usually comes with paints like this. Just for comparison's sake, I put 2 coats of each of those same varieties of gold paint onto a piece of raw wood. Of course, wood doesn't have as smooth of a surface, so you're not going to get the same shine that you do with ceramic. But I wanted you to be able to see what these paints look like on a variety of surfaces. The new Treasure Gold line comes in 4 different shades: gold, copper, rose gold, and antique gold. And I want to show you how each of those colors looks on a couple of different surfaces. I painted a few cheap dollar store embellishments with the Treasure Gold paint. This is gold, and this is the antique gold, which has a little bit darker finish. Next is the Treasure Gold in copper, which is perfect for fall crafting. I am kind of obsessed with this paint right now. And then finally the rose gold, which has a pretty warm rosy gold pink finish. I also painted some faux flower leaves with the Treasure Gold paint. So this is kind of fabric, not really, but you can see what that looks like in each of the 4 shades. But where the Treasure Gold paint really shines is on smooth surfaces like these plastic planters, also from the dollar store. The finish on a smooth surface is so beautiful. I'm just so impressed that FolkArt managed to get this kind of a metallic finish in a non-toxic water-based paint. I know I'm harping on that a lot, but it is a really cool new product. Again, when you're working with metallic paints, when you're working with the Treasure Gold paint, use soft paintbrushes, use a gentle hand, and paint on thin coats, multiple thin coats. Don't glom it all on at once, or you're going to end up with an uneven finish. I highly recommend doing 2 or 3 thin coats of the Treasure Gold paint when you are working on a project, and you will get gorgeous results. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of projects on the blog this week that use this new Treasure Gold paint, so be sure to hop over and check them all out. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Visit me on my blog, manandcrafts.com, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!